about the buyer. And we'll head over to Aisling now, who's finding out about fulfilling your cravings, but doing it in a healthy way.
Right. And Andrea and I were just talking about the graphic behind us and how badly now we want to eat these cupcakes. Andrea,
distracting.
I know. Andrea Holwegner is with me. We're talking all about cravings. Savory, sweet, everyone's got a craving, and it can hit at any time. As you know yourself, you're a chocoholic, you tell me.
I know.
You really are.
Nutrition, absolutely. One of my favorite things ever.
Oh my gosh, that's the same for me. And ice cream. We're going to get to both of those things in a second, but let's start with some tips. You talk about the first thing you can do is buy small when you are maybe indulging a little bit, right?
Sure, in those harder to manage treats and sweets, so your potato chips and ice creams and chocolates for me, buying the smallest units possible is a good strategy. Okay. So for me as the chocoholic dietitian, going into the grocery store, if I bought the 100-calorie size chocolate bar, I'd eat it. If I bought the regular size one, I'd eat it. If I bought the family size one, I'd eat it too.
Right.
You know, there's some people that can break off a corner and they can leave it for tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Most of us on the planet do not relate to this.
The women who wrap up the chocolate bars and put it in their purse and have it later, I cannot be friends with those people because I eat their food. I just can't do that. So I totally understand what you're saying. So
I wish I had that control.
I know. Or just go to, we were saying, go to a really good chocolate store and just buy one little single piece because it's quality, high quality, that's going to make you feel satisfied.
One, two, or maybe three.
Or maybe five. Okay. And then do the math. That's always important, especially when it comes to portions, right?
Sure. Oftentimes when people are getting a big family-sized bag of potato chips, they've kind of looked on the side and they went, it doesn't look like that's so bad. But what they've maybe forgotten to do is look at, well, if a serving on the bag was 9 potato chips, if I was going to eat 50, what does the numbers actually look like for sodium or fats or calories? And sometimes doing that is a good exercise and just sort of awareness.
And all of a sudden you're multiplying it by 2, 3, 4 times depending on what you've taken.
Sure.
Okay, so let's talk about substitutes. You've sort of broken this down into the savory and the sweet. Let's start with the savory first. These are some great things if you're the kind of person who loves the potato chips and
savory, types of options. So I'm thinking nutritional density here. So popcorn, I think over the the last few years has gotten a bad rap, and I don't know why. I think it's because people are maybe buying the microwave kind of junky style or the movie theater stuff. Of course, if you get yourself an air-popped popcorn, they're actually even hard to find, I've learned.
They are,
Wonderful thing to have in your kitchen. A little bit of butter, a little bit of salt. Don't go too crazy, but really great. Very good snack, high fiber, excellent.
Okay.
I like nuts that are in shells because it slows people down.
Oh, that's a really great tip. Okay, so peanut in the shell.
Peanuts in the shell. We love pistachios at our house. We have big bags of pistachios, and what my husband and I always do is we put them in a bowl because giving yourself an end point is important. Otherwise, the end point is the end of a bag, which is trouble for portion size management.
And you kind of just go numb. You just, as a habit, you just sit there, and for 2 hours you're watching a movie, you go through the whole bag. And talk to me about these little almonds. It looks like it's in an Altoids case.
I know. Well, the almond producers come up with this little cute tin. So great. Anything that gives you, you could use any kind of little container to just give yourself an end point. Because if you sit with a bag at your office of 1 kilo of trail mix or something, this is trouble because you're just going to overeat. So anytime you can frame the quantity, always good.
Kale chips. Can I try these? Because I've never tried them before. So obviously these are really good for you, but I haven't seen it.
Kale, of course, a superfood. Any green veggie is great. So you just wash the kale, you toss them in a little olive oil, a little bit of sea salt, bake them in the oven until they're crispy.
That's really good.
Sometimes the savory people will enjoy these.
That is actually really good. Not too worried about the salt on that. It seems like
a little goes a long way, you know, really. Just a little is not going to be a big deal.
Okay, and quickly, carrots and hummus.
Carrots and hummus, you could think about if you really like that crunch, maybe poke some pretzel sticks in here, and then you got a mix of your veggies getting in there and a little bit of crunch at the same time.
And anything in a martini glass, let's be honest, I'll be eating. Okay, let's get to the sweet stuff because this is also our favorite, and this is particularly for you and me. So what do we have here, Andrea?
You know, I'm a big fan of what you can do that's kind of a comfort food that's warm. So, of course, a latte is one of my favorite things. The tea lattes, your chai teas, you know, your Earl Grey tea steamers, London fogs, great. One of my nice things that I like to make in the evening is take a mug of milk, put a little bit of that dark brown sugar in. You don't need much, like a teaspoon does the job. Not a lot of calories there, a little bit of vanilla, and it's like a nice warm vanilla milk.
So it's almost a comfort thing you're looking at.
Of course.
And you say if you love ice cream or frozen yogurt and that sweet stuff, do it yourself, make your own?
You know, everyone in my entire extended family owns this like frozen yogurt maker. We love it in our home.
Seems high maintenance though. Is it a lot of work?
It's not, you know, this in the tube in here you freeze and you literally take an entire like tall container of yogurt, a little bit of milk, a little bit of sugar, couple cups of berries or fruit of some sort, throw it in, and in 20 minutes, the best frozen yogurt you're ever going to eat.
And quickly, let's just address what happens if none of this works. You're still, you know, you've eaten this and that, and then all of a sudden you're still feeling like you haven't satisfied your craving. What do you do?
Sure, you know, and being a chocoholic, sometimes like a chocolate milk, it's not going to do it. I just want the real deal.
Yes.
And so what I encourage people to do is before you start snacking and grazing, really tune into what you're craving.
Okay.
So if you're craving chocolate, probably eating around it. I call it chewing around a craving.
Right.
And sampling yogurt and a fruit and this, it's not going to do the job. So sometimes a little bit of what you really want is going to be the best strategy.
Yeah, so every now and then it's not a bad thing.
Yes.
Excellent. Andrea, thank you so much for being here. If you want to find out more information about Andrea and some of these tips, nutrition related, everything is at healthandnutrition.com. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Let's head back over to Todd Gallant. Todd.
Lovely forecast for this afternoon with a temperature of 16 degrees today.